Welcome back. Most people do not fail at habits because they are unwilling. They fail because they make the starting point too difficult. In the last module, you identified where your habit usually breaks down. You looked at whether your biggest challenge is starting, remembering, sustaining, or restarting. In this module, we are going to focus on one of the most common problems, making the habit too big to begin consistently. Let us take a simple example. You decide you want to start exercising, but in your mind, exercise means 1 full hour, a proper workout, changing into workout clothes, going to the gym, following a complete routine. Now imagine you have had a long work day. You are tired, you still have things to finish at home. How likely are you to begin? Probably not very likely. The habit may be good, the intention may be genuine, but the starting point is too heavy. And when something feels difficult to start, we naturally delay it. So one of the most useful questions you can ask while building a habit is, what is the smallest version of this habit I can actually begin? Not the perfect version, not the ideal version, the version you can start. This is where I want you to create what I call your minimum version. Your minimum version is the smallest meaningful action that still keeps you connected to the habit. For example, if your goal is to read for 30 minutes every day, your minimum version might be reading 1 page. If your goal is to exercise for 45 minutes, your minimum version might be 5 minutes of movement. If your goal is to meditate for 20 minutes, your minimum version might be just 2 minutes of mindful breathing. If your goal is to journal every night, your minimum version might be writing just 3 lines. The purpose of minimum version is not to lower your standards forever. It is to make starting easier. Because once you begin, continuing often becomes easier. Think about how often this happens in real life. You tell to yourself, I will just walk for 5 minutes, and once you start, you end up walking for 20 minutes. You tell to yourself, I will read just 1 page, and you continue reading. The first step often creates momentum. So instead of making the habit dependent on motivation, make the starting point easy enough that your brain has less reason to resist. Now, let us take this one step further. I want you to create 2 versions of your habit. The first one is your normal day version. This is what you would ideally like to do when your schedule and energy are reasonably good. The second is your bad day version. This is the version you can still do when life is busy, your energy is low, or the day does not go as planned. For example, normal day version is 30 minutes of exercise. Bad day version is 5 minutes of stretching or walking. Another example, normal day version, read 10 pages. Bad day version, read just 1 page. Normal day version, journal for 15 minutes. Bad day version, write just 1 sentence. This is important because many people build habits only for their best days. They create a plan that works when they are motivated, rested, and everything goes according to the schedule. But life does not always work that way. A sustainable habit needs a version that can survive an imperfect day too. So now, take the habit you chose for this course and ask yourself, what is my normal day version? And what is the smallest version I can still do on a difficult day? Pause the audio and reflect on both of these questions. Do not make your bad day version complicated. It should feel almost too easy. The goal is simple. Stay connected to the habit because doing something small helps you to maintain the relationship with the behavior. And once your situation improves, you can return to the full version more easily. So remember, You do not always need to do the maximum. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to keep the habit alive in the smallest form. In the next module, we are going to solve another major habit problem. Even when a habit is easy, many people still forget to do it. So how do you give your habit a clean place in your day so that you do not have to keep relying on memory? That is what we will work on next. Let's continue in the next module.